Right. No drill. Let you get set up. Get me set up. Start in a minute here. Four. Oh, they got dogs over there. That's what you're growling at. Oh, shoot. Oh, those aren't. They're just stray dogs, cat. You're okay. They don't live there. They're just wandering. And doing. That's gross. Okay. I think we're good. Oh, Eric's here. We can start. Alright, Chapter 7, Lesson 4. Solve two-step equations. Don't do anything. No. I'm going to do something. How do you solve two-step equations? That's our question for today. I need to get my paper. You need to get ready. Be ready. So to solve a two-step equation, generally speaking, we undo our operations in reverse order of PEMDAS. Eric is king. Eric, you don't even have my class 5th period. Come on, man. Get it together. So, PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. But in reality, the only 4 we look at are the last 4. Multiplication, addition. Multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So step 1 will always be to undo your adding and subtracting. So there's always going to be a plus or minus, and that's what we're going to get rid of first. And then whatever's being multiplied and divided, that will be our second step. Okay, this is a kitten here, because this is kind of difficult relative to what we do other days. Whoops. We put the cat there, so you feel better. Oh man, the screen does not work the way I want it to. Okay, so our first example. That's right, you're in 4th period, Eric. Good job. 4x plus 7 equals 19. So our goal is still to get x by itself. Okay, we want variable by itself. So the first thing that we're going to do, we said step 1 was to undo addition and subtraction. We had plus 7, so we're going to undo addition. Spelled that wrong. We want to get rid of plus 7, so we do the opposite of that, which is to subtract 7. Okay? And this is where kids make mistakes. We do it to both sides of the equation. So we already did it on the left side, so we need to do it on the right side of the equation. So if you think of, just put a line down the middle here, right, where the equal sign is. You need to do it on the left side and on the right side. Okay? So we do the math here. 7 minus 7, that's going to cancel out. On the other side, 19 minus 7, that's math we can do. That's 12. Okay? And then we just bring down this 4x, because we didn't do anything with that yet. We have 4x equals 12. That's step 1. Still need to get x by itself. So step 2 is undo multiplication and division. So we want to undo this times 4. So we want to undo the multiplication. Eric already has the answer because he went through 7th grade already. He's already been through the struggle. So to undo multiplication, we need to divide. So we're going to divide both sides by 4. Okay. And then 4 divided by 4, this is going to cancel out. We're left with just x on one side. And on the other side, 12 divided by 4 is 3. Okay. And then we can check that. If we say 4 times 3 plus 7, 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 7 is 19. This works out what it's supposed to be. And that's 2 step equations. We just practice this a couple hundred times, and then we'll be good at it. Alright, so example 2, negative 6y minus 4 equals 38. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get rid of the adding and subtracting. We're going to undo subtraction. We need to get rid of minus 4 by adding 4. And then again, we can put this here, imaginary line, separating the left and right side of the equation. Say plus 4 over here as well. Okay. Negative 4 plus 4, this cancels out. Over here, this is math we can do. 38 plus 4 is 42. This negative 6y we didn't touch yet, so we just bring it down. Okay. So negative 6y equals 42. And then we're going to, just like last time, we're going to undo multiplication. And once you get out of 7th grade, almost always the equation looks like this. So the second step is to undo multiplying. We really want to practice this more. Only in 7th grade you get the the ugly ones with fractions. Oh, Eric, try again. That's not correct. It's not 36. So to get rid of multiplying by negative 6, we do the opposite of that. It's to divide by negative 6. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6. These are going to cancel out. And we'll be left with y equals. Then 42 divided by 6 is 7. And a positive divided by a negative. Negative. So y equals negative 7. And we can check that. We can say Birdie boy was a little bit closer. Oh, don't forget your signs. So negative 6 times negative 7 minus 4. We're just checking the original equation here. So 6 times 7 is 42. Negative times a negative is a positive. So 42 minus 4 does indeed equal 38. Okay? You can't say the answer after I'm already done, like you got it right. We'll get it on the next time. Alright, so number 3, example 3. There's another kitten for you. Cover up these other examples. Alright, so we have 1/3 t plus 9 equals 4. This one's a little bit uglier, it's got fractions in it. That's okay. So our first step, we always want to get rid of the adding and subtracting. So we're going to say step 1, undo addition. How many more? 3 more examples. So to undo plus 9, we do minus 9. And whatever we do on the left-hand side, we have to do on the right-hand side. So these will cancel out. And then 4 take away 9. So different signs, so we subtract. 9 minus 4 is 5. And then since 9 is greater, we keep that sign, which is negative. On the other side, we didn't do anything with 1/3 t, so we're just going to rewrite it. We have 1/3 of a number equals -5. Our second step, since it's 1/3 times t, we need to undo the multiplication. We need to divide both sides by 1/3. Okay. So this will cancel out. And then we have -5 divided by 1/3. So we said if we have complex fractions, we rewrite it. So we have -5, and we can call that -5/1, divided by 1/3. And then we rewrite that as a multiplication problem because we never actually divide by fractions, ever. So we say this is -5/1 times, I shouldn't put x, times dot, and then we flip the second number over. So this becomes 3/1. And then we can multiply straight across. That gives us 5 times 3 is 15. And it's a negative times positive is negative. 1 times 1 is 1, such as 1. So our answer is just going to be t equals -15. Okay? That is a lot of work. But like we were saying last time, once you start to realize that anytime you have a fraction, that if we actually, I'm going to come back to this. Let me finish the notes part, then we'll look at a shorter way to do example 3. Okay? Alright, example 4. It was not so bad. R divided by 7 plus 3 equals -10. So first step, undo the adding and subtracting. In this case, it's adding. So undo the addition. This is going to be -3 to both sides. Okay. These will cancel out. -10 and -3. If they're both negative, we just combine them. It's going to be -13 equals, and then we just bring down R divided by 7. Okay. And now we need to undo the division. Excuse me. So the opposite of dividing by 7 is to multiply both sides by 7. So our answer is going to come out to whatever -13 times 7 is. This side will cancel out. We're left with R equals, and 13 times 7 is -91. Our answer. So this is really, it's like what we've been doing the past couple days, except it's just 2 problems put together. Double the work, double the fun. Alright, one more. Last one's a word problem, just because why not? So Ashley's cell phone plan costs $40 per month, and Ashley lives in the past, and so she's still being charged for text messages, 10 cents each. Her bill last month was $180. How many messages did she send? Okay. This guy wrote this, and she lived back in the times when you still got charged for text messages. That's okay. That's okay. So we need to come up with an equation for this. 2 things we're looking at. One of them is the rate Oops. It was 10 cents for each message. There it is. So we can say part of our equation is 10 cents times the number of messages she sends, right? But she also has to pay a monthly fee, which was $40. So no matter how many messages she sends, she has to pay this $40. Okay? And that's equal to, it tells us how much she had to pay, which was $180. There's our equation. And then we just want to know how many messages did she send. So first step, same as before, we're going to undo the addition. We're going to get rid of this plus 40 by doing the opposite. So this will cancel out. 180 minus 40 is 140 equals. And at this point we can see she spent $140 just on her messages, right? By taking out the fee, we're left with how much she had to pay to text people. Our last step, we're going to undo the division. No, that's not dividing. Ha 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 ha. I tried to trick you. Undo the multiplication by dividing. M equals 17. Come on, that's not even close. I expected better from you. We're going to divide both sides by 0.10. Right? Hopefully you can do it in your head. If not, here we go. Ready? Hop in. Bottom out. I want to divide by decimals, so I'm just going to move this over one place. And then 1400 divided by 1 is 1400. So M, after this equals 1400. Or she sent 1,400 text messages in 1 month. You were playing around. Yeah, I bet. Okay. So for your second part of extra credit, if there are 30 days in this month, how many messages did she send per day? Write that down right here. Something messages per day. MPD. Okay? Don't forget to put your questions. It is the correct answer. That is the answer. No, it's not. Okay, so your questions. What did you write about? You wrote about solving equations. So your question would be like, how do I solve equations? Don't forget to put the cats. Don't forget to answer this. Your summary. Your summary was all about solving two-step equations. Okay? Alright, that's it for the notes. All we're going to do now, as I said we would, is we said we're going to look at another way to solve this equation here. Alright, so we talked about we need to get rid of times 1/3, and that involves dividing by 1/3, and then you have to flip the fraction, and it's a lot of work. So the shortcut here, because it's always the same process, is instead of dividing by 1/3, we just multiply by the reciprocal to 1/3. We just flip that fraction over, which was the end result of what we did after all of our steps last time. So then if we do that on one side, we do the same thing on the other side. Even though we're getting rid of multiplying, we're still multiplying. Because we never divide by fractions, we always just multiply. And then we get the same thing. All this is going to cancel out. It's 3 times 1, 1 times 3 is 1. And then we do the math over here. That gives you negative 5 times 3 is negative 50. Okay. So if we gave you another problem, let's say 2/5 W plus 1 equals 36. Why not? So our first step would be to get rid of the plus or minus. We'd get rid of plus 1. Feel like a better student. That's good. That's why we're here. Tell your friends. We can all be better students. We get rid of this plus 1. 36 minus 1, that's 35. I should write this further down. They look. So we have 2/5 W equals 35. So if we want to get rid of 2/5, we said the short way to do that is to multiply it by its reciprocal. Okay? 5 times 2 is 10, 2 times 5 is 10, 10 divided by 10 is 1. All this is going to cancel out. If I do it to one side, I do it to the other. I don't know why I picked 35 anymore. Big number. So this will cancel out. If I want to multiply fractions, I put this over 1. And then I can multiply straight across. 35 times 5. It would come out to a whole number. Did not plan this well. 35 times 5 is... Feeling so great, so trust myself to this in my head. 175. Okay. Divided by 2. So W equals 175 over 2. And if you're not into improper fractions, we could work that out. That's 87. Add a decimal and a decimal and a 0. 5. So W. So 2/5 of what number plus 1 equals 36? Well, of course, it's 87.5. Who is the most smart kid in 4th period? I am the most smart kid in 4th period. Without a doubt. If anyone's going to pass the 8th grade STAR test, it's... Alright, so come back with questions about how to solve equations tomorrow. And we're going to be practicing it the rest of the week. Alright, good night. If you're sick, stay home. Stop getting me sick.